Hey my friends, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and I'm coming to you from my kitchen. I know I haven't been very busy doing much cooking in my kitchen. I've been out here and there and doing other projects. Today I woke up and I had on my mind, what am I going to cook for dinner today? And opened up my freezer and it's like, ooh, there's so much stuff in there. I need to cook something. So I'm on a quest to cook through my freezer. One of the things that I do have an abundance of, and you all know because being in the barbecue world, you trim a lot of meat and you have a lot of excess trim that sometimes is hard to throw away. So I have some brisket trim that I decided I was going to make a Asian beef noodle soup. From the list of ingredients, it looks complicated, but just going through and watching a few videos, it should be okay. So what I have here, this is some rice wine, and that's about 2 tablespoons. Got tomato paste, and that's approximately 1.5 tablespoons. Sugar, soy sauce, more rice wine. This is a soybean paste. Then I have some sliced green onion, the green tops. Also I have garlic, ginger slices, orange peel. I've got some red pepper. I'm not going to use all of it, but I did just cut it up. I've got green onions, regular onions, star anise, bay leaves, cinnamon stick. My other ingredients includes, this is brisket trim, and it was frozen and I thawed it out. I actually quick thawed it because I added some cold water. And the first part of this recipe is going to require that I blanch this beef trim. Once again, this is prime brisket trim, and it was previously frozen and currently thawed. The purpose of blanching the beef beforehand is so that we can get rid of a lot of the scum that's going to come to the top. And then we are going to rinse the beef off, throw away that water, and it's not going to boil for a long period of time. It's just a real quick blanching. I'm going to add some ginger slices and rice wine, and we're going to bring that up to a quick boil, get the scum going, and then I'm going to filter off the scum and dry the beef. This is the beef blanching, and you'll notice the scum that's forming all around the edges. We don't want that in our meat, so we want to make sure that we get that to rise to the top, wash it off the beef, and we'll have nice pieces which don't have that scummy yuck on them. I skimmed most of the scum off, and I'm going to pour off this water and wash the beef to get the residual little speckles off, so it'll be a nice clean look to it. Here are my beef pieces that have been blanched, rinsed, and I've patted them fairly dry. And I'm now going to add them to the wok to brown them on all sides. I've got vegetable oil in here, very hot wok. So now I'm going to toss the beef pieces. My beef pieces are coming along, getting brown, getting that caramelization on them. Now I'm going to add my sugar, and this is a critical step, so I'm going to have to go off camera to do this part so it doesn't burn. I've added the sugar, and I got to make sure this doesn't burn, but I want it to melt and get a little bit of caramelized. Then I'm going to mix it with the beef, and we'll add all our other things in it. It's almost there now. Just to give it a glazy type texture. See now where there are. Okay, the meat has been covered with the caramelized sugar. And now I'm going to start adding my dry ingredients, or my seasoning. We're going to get some onion in there, green onion. I'm going to get that orange peel, cinnamon stick, star anise. And I've got about 3 star anises in there. Crushed garlic. I got about 4 or 5 pieces of crushed garlic. 3 or 4 pieces of the ginger. And I'm going to add some of the pepper. Don't want it to get too hot. And let me mix this up. Oh, the fragrances coming off of here are amazing. Okay, now I'm going to start adding my tomato paste, rice wine, soy sauce, and my bean paste. Okay, so I've got the soy sauce, rice wine, bean paste, and tomato paste in there, and stir them around. The color is gorgeous. Smells amazing. So the next step here now is to just let this do a couple of minutes to get those fragrances really mellowed out. And then I'm going to put it in a clay pot to continue the braising until tender. Yum! This is dinner tonight. Asian beef noodle soup. Okay, I've transferred everything to a clay pot, and I'm going to fill this with enough water to cover, put the top on it, and let it simmer. In addition, I'm going to deglaze the wok I use so that I can get all that yummy goodness that's all over that wok out of there and add it to my clay pot. See, even on my tongs I have a lot of yummy goodness in there. And I'm adding, this is probably about, I had 6 cups in there, so that's about 4 cups of water. If I need to add more later on, I will, but that should be enough to get this on a nice simmer. And we'll be back in a few hours to see where we are. Okay, now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then once it comes up to a boil, I'm going to lower the heat and let it simmer. The other thing is to taste, because the only salt that we have in there is from the soy sauce, so I'm sure that I'm going to have to add a little bit of salt. I've added like about 1.5 teaspoons currently, and I'll taste it a little bit later on to see how that's doing. This is about 20 minutes into cooking, and a few minutes ago I did lower the temperature to a simmer, so it's simmering away, and I just see all yummy goodness in there. This is 1 hour into cooking, still braising and looking good. And the recipe I came up with was from YouTube, and it's from, I'm sorry I don't know the young lady's name, but her site is Souped Up Recipes. And this is one of the recipes from her site, and I'll try to put a link in my description to it. I've never cooked this before, but I decided this morning that, you know, I'm going to give it a try. It has a lot of ingredients that just were interesting to me to develop a lot of different flavors. And my hubby loves Asian type soups and stews, so I thought this would fit in with him for a nice Sunday dinner. In addition, it was a little cold outside, and it just had a, you know, a soulful, warming look to the recipe when I saw her do it on the internet. I'm going to go through the ingredients because I don't think I did a very good job of listening when I did the recipe. One of the things, you can use any kind of beef you want. I just happen to have the beef brisket. You could have used chunks of anything else, stew meat or whatever. And it's important that you blanch it. And the blanching process is primarily because there's going to be a lot of scum that develops, and you don't want that in your soup. You want it to be a more clear type soup that doesn't have little flakes of, I'll call it yuck in it. So in the blanching, we do use some slices of ginger and some rice wine. For the cooking process, some of the things that are the ingredients include, and yes, I am reading this from my cell phone because I don't have it listed and I don't have it memorized. But we're going to be braising the beef. Once we've blanched it, we're going to dry it off, and then you'll see me then transfer it to a wok. Well, I'll try to brown it, and then I'll add a little sugar mixture to it to caramelize it and mix the meat with that. And then I'll add all the other ingredients, which include ginger, 4 slices of ginger, 4 cloves of crushed garlic, though I use about 4 to 6. I think it's probably closer to 6. I used the white part of a spring onion. I had about 4 or 5 small spring onions, half of a medium onion, a stalk of cinnamon, 2 bay leaves, some hot chili, and I used some chili peppers that were from my garden that were partially dried, so I sliced those up. Star anise, the recipe called for 2, I put in 3. I like the flavor of star anise, so I figured, well, let's see what happens. Calls for dried orange peel. I didn't have dried orange peel, but I did have some oranges, so I sliced off the skin and put the peel in. In addition to a bean paste, and the name of the bean paste that was used in the recipe is called a Sichuan Du Bang Yang, but I used a soybean paste mixture, which is what I had in my refrigerator. Recipe also calls for some tomato paste, more rice wine, soy sauce, and a little bit of salt just for taste, depending on how it tastes after you get to the braising part of it. You can use almost any kind of noodle you want, and I'm going to use just an Asian style noodle. And I also have some bok choy. I only had a couple of little pieces of bok choy I'm going to put in it, and I have some hard-boiled eggs. I'd rather use eggs that had a runny yolk, but since I have the hard-boiled ones in the refrigerator, I'll just slice them in half and put them in. And then we'll garnish with some of the green section of the spring onions. I hope you enjoy this recipe, as I know that I haven't tasted it yet as of this time in the video, but I know that we will, because the smells that are coming off of it are just intense and just are making me hungry just sitting here waiting for it to complete. Hope you enjoyed my Asian style beef noodle soup. I invite you to subscribe, comment, tell me what you like about my videos, what you don't like. I know a lot of you expressed that you would like me to cook more barbecue and show you what my process of cooking barbecue is, but I'll get to some of those things. We're sort of like in a off season for barbecue competitions, so starting back in January, the end of January, I'm going to make a concerted effort to do more barbecue videos. Take care, enjoy. Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, in my kitchen.